You know that feeling when something you love kind of dies a little bit? There are probably a million examples of this, but a few that come to mind recently ish. I guess I'll complain about Yu Gi Oh! First. I used to play Yu Gi Oh! Religiously. I played it in school. I was probably one of the top five in the school. I was always playing Yu Gi Oh! With my buddies. I had a lot of fun. And then Konami, in their infinite wisdom, and I feel like this is a common issue, like companies don't really play their fucking games. And like Konami, it was very basic. You had your backboard with the spells and traps, and then you had the front with the monsters, and then you had your side cards for special summons and shit. And then I kept expanding that, and that was all good. And then one day, for some fucking reason, they just decided to change the game entirely. They added these fucking pendulum cards. They had completely different mechanics. They completely changed how the board worked, and that fucked everything up. And then after that, they kind of rolled back a little bit, but then they're like, we're gonna do link summons, so they changed the board again. And for me, like, the game isn't dead. I can't say that it's dead, but it's dead for me. A part of it died, and I didn't want to stay with such a game that was going to be unstable. That Konami was just going to be like, oh, we decided to completely change how it works one day, and I kind of gave up on it. I moved to Magic for a while, but their power creep and the way that Wizards of the Coast handles anything political or marketable, like, it just kind of got weird, and the game kind of died for me, and I stopped playing card games, even though I love card games. Hearthstone I tried to get into, but it was kind of pay to win, and I don't know, just one of those things I had to let go. And then, I started playing an FPS shooter. I started playing this game called Hunt Showdown. And again, it's not dead. It's still very much alive, but it feels like the people who are in charge of the game don't really play the game. They make all these questionable decisions. They nerf things, and then they kind of like go back on the nerf a little bit, and then they try to nerf things that don't really need a nerf. And the balancing seems weird, and there are major issues with the game that aren't getting addressed, and I don't know if they ever will get addressed. So again, it's like the game's not dead, but it feels like it's dying a little bit. A part of it died. It makes me think of like my grandmother. Like, as people age, they reach certain points where you can tell that their brain has slipped just a little bit. They're not quite as there as they used to be. It's a part of them died, and that part isn't going to come back. And parts will just keep dying off until they're actually dead. And it's a really sad thing to watch. It's a really sad thing to watch something you love slowly die and turn into something you don't really recognize anymore.